Hi, this is Josh McEwen here with Dufferin News, and today I'm joined by a friend of Dufferin News, Sarah Clarke, founder of Dufferin Media, the one-stop shop digital marketing firm located right here in Dufferin. And as usual, Sarah has big news to share with us about the work that Dufferin Media is doing. We start off by talking about their Adopt a Business and Adopt a Charity initiatives that were just expanded this year to include 4 organizations, some of which I'm sure you've heard of. We then talk about how Dufferin Media is growing and how they just made an interesting purchase that will help them provide an even more all-encompassing solution for new and existing clients. Now, I have to apologize for the audio quality of this segment, as my equipment was apparently experiencing issues at the time. I cleaned it up as best as I could, but it is far from ideal. Sorry about this. The good news is, though, that you can still hear Sarah perfectly, and that is who has all the interesting stuff to say anyways. Now, to learn more about Dufferin Media, check out their website, dufferinmedia.com, and follow them on social media, and check out the episode where they are featured on Dufferin Spotlight on Business. Big thanks to Sarah Clarke for her time and for sharing this with us, and thanks to you, the audience, for listening. I'm Josh McEwen, and thank you for listening to Dufferin News. Thanks.
Hi, this is Josh McEwen here with Dufferin News, and today I'm joined by Sarah Clarke, founder of Dufferin Media, the one-stop shop for digital marketing firm located here in Dufferin that is also partnered with Dufferin News. Hey, Sarah, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate you taking time to speak with us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And so if you don't mind, do you mind just giving us a brief run through of the services that Dufferin Media offers?
Absolutely. Dufferin Media is a full service digital marketing agency. So we offer everything from branding and logo design to website design to social media management, SEO and PR, email marketing, basically the whole gamut of services.
100%. I mean, again, like I said, it seems like a one-stop shop for anything digital and marketing that you need.
I have many amazing team members with different skills and specialized skills, so we can pretty much help a business or nonprofit organization with any digital marketing needs.
So generally speaking, is there one or two of these that you would say has become more important since the pandemic hit?
That's a hard one because all digital marketing has become incredibly important.
Yeah.
So many businesses moving online. I would say that the website piece and creating at least part of your website where a customer can either purchase or book with you online is something that was specific to pandemic activity. So if a business was previously a brick and mortar storefront and they had to pivot to offer their sales online or via curbside, then we helped a number of people set up that type of setup on their website.
That makes sense because there's a lot of, there's many businesses that weren't connected at all, but there were many more that were connected, but pretty much just had a static website that you really couldn't interact with. That was purely for informational purposes, it seemed like. So that would be a bit of a transition for sure.
Yeah.
And again, having the ability to book and shop, but again, even to book time to contact, to set time aside, because I mean, it's pretty hard maintaining the schedule for a lot of people, especially with all the Zoom calls and everything going on.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me about that.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, I can definitely see why those services would be definitely in demand and more important now. Because again, being dynamic and responsive to your customers in a digital environment was absolutely necessary during these times and still is. Yeah. So we're here to talk about the Adopt a Charity program and the Adopt a Business initiatives that you had going on for a couple of years now. But for 2021, so can you actually just share more details about these initiatives if you don't mind?
Sure. For 2 years previous, we ran an Adopt a Charity campaign where we provided a nonprofit organization with full digital marketing services for an entire year for no charge. So in 2020, as the pandemic kind of hit everybody really hard, our team discussed other ways that we could help the community or help businesses that were struggling. We did lots of things like offer sort of really low price point trials and that sort of thing. But there was we all agreed we wanted to try and do more. So the first idea was to have, obviously we knew we were going to run the Adopt a Charity campaign again for 2021, but what we discussed was we'd like to open it up to not just an international charity, but also someone local, so that we could do a local charity as well as someone or a nonprofit anywhere in the world. And then the discussion moved to small business, and there was a lot of talk about how we could potentially help some people that maybe small businesses that could use some help in 2021. So that's sort of how it developed. It really was just a natural team discussion about concern over what was happening in the world and how we can maybe use our skills to give back. So we expanded the campaign, and instead of having one adopt charity, we actually adopted 2 charities, and then we adopted 2 businesses.
Yeah, wow. And from what I understand, for 2021, there's a local and an international concept or category for each of these.
Yes.
Correct? That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean that's really cool. And so in the past, actually, can you just tell us a bit more about the organizations that you've helped in the past before we get to the ones that you're going to help for 2021?
Sure. So the one a few years ago was the Neighborhood Information Post, which was is a nonprofit organization that helps residents of the impoverished neighborhoods in Toronto with various programs, such as, I mean, they did so many things then, and it had to do with like housing and healthy cooking and social events, and they had such a wide range of services, and I really enjoyed working with them. They had a project that was called the Toronto Rent Bank, which I worked on a lot with them, and it was to help people in those neighborhoods. So again, the impoverished neighborhoods in Toronto, it helped them to avoid being evicted if they were behind in their rent. So that was something that I really enjoyed as part of that campaign. And then last year we adopted the All Paws Rescue charity, which is, it's sort of centered in Peel, I believe, but they service a lot of a larger geographical area with adoptions of animals, specifically cats, but they did have other animals there. So they would help with fostering, medical treatments, and all kinds of other initiatives for animals.
That's great. Because I mean, I've heard recently, just given some of the other stuff I've covered, that cats they really do need help with helping make sure that they're in a family or in place with people that actually will take care of them. And there is a large surplus of cats that aren't being taken care of.
Yeah, so it's a really great organization, actually. If you look it up, it's All Paws Rescue on Facebook. They are very active in helping so many, families and animals in the community.
That's great. And I mean, and again, even with especially with the rent bank too. I mean, that's an amazing concept. I mean, especially these days, I think we can all appreciate how important that is. I mean, how important these services like that are. I mean, that's not everywhere. So I mean, it's great to see that does exist in some places. That's awesome. Because not everyone, the county does have support, but I mean, not everyone lives in a place where the county does have the support that they do, and the county can't support everybody. So can you tell us a bit more about the selection process for this for these initiatives?
Sure. We put out the nomination forms on our website in, I'm going to say it was November. The last few months have been a bit of a blur. And we announced that we're doing the campaigns, and we open up pages on our website where people can nominate a business or nominate a charity. And then on December 23rd, I think it was, we've done this in the past in person, where we've had our actual Christmas party as a team and gone through all of the nominations and voted on who we want to select. So this year was a little different because we couldn't meet in person, which was really sad for all of us. But we met on Zoom. We had a little Christmas lunch party thing on Zoom where we all wore Christmas sweaters. And we went together through all of the nominations for each category. And there was discussion, and it's sort of done unanimously almost, where we kind of together as a team, we pick what we feel to be the most appropriate in each category.
Sorry about this. There was an issue here. We didn't miss much, only me asking Sarah to tell us more about the organizations that Dufferin Media is adopting for 2021. The one she tells us first is AG Secure Home Watch, a company that provides professional home watch services to a number of communities, including some right here in Dufferin. Anyways, apologies again for this, and let's pop into the rest of the segment. Thanks.
Yeah, and I mean, and it seems like they are quite active even here in Orangeville. Like, I mean, I see them on social media quite a bit, just letting people know, like, just tips about like making sure their home is safe and things like that. I see it posted in the groups, which I think is helpful because there's information there that I found helpful, even though I don't travel. But I mean, especially these days, no one's traveling. But I mean, but yeah, no, because they offer services for those who are medically, like if they're on medical leave or something like that. They offer for just more than just people going away.
We found, I mean, that it was really the team. I find like I'm not very influential in the discussion. I sort of stand back and listen to everybody else chat. But the team was very drawn to the service that they offer because it does have to do with home safety and when people are sick and there's a lot of this, what they offer that none of us really realized, that if your home is not occupied for a certain amount of time, all the risks associated with that, and also the potential lack of insurance coverage.
Yep.
And I found that incredibly informative. I hadn't realized that. And we just felt like this one in particular, we'd love to work with to try and get that information as education out to the community and help them grow their business, because it's a couple of women entrepreneurs that have started this business, recognizing a need in the community, and they're sort of innovative in their field. So that was how the conversation went.
That is great. And that you're absolutely right. That information needs to get out there more. And I mean, that's great that you're going to be helping do that. Because I mean, that is helpful for a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of things that we should know that we don't know, that a lot of people take for granted. Especially like you said, like when your residence is unoccupied for a period of time, and like you're supposed to have someone go there every day, or every so many hours. I don't know if it's every day, but it's pretty frequently.
And I mean, some of it's even common sense, but other things are because of insurance liability. But just imagine that your sump pump isn't working for a few days and you're away. And so there was a lot of things that I talked about with Sophie that I was like, wow, it's pretty powerful stuff. And they also are I love how they are always informing people about various security risks, not just what they do. So I really, I'm happy with that one. I'm excited to work with them.
Yeah, I saw them do that just this week, actually. So I mean, how you say that? I saw them just do an example of an actual disturbance. They were just highlighting, letting everybody know. I mean, that's great. I mean, that's so cool. 'Cause I mean, it's not something I think of firsthand, but that it is really a really cool organization. Now you let me know more about it and just learning about the different services that they provide. That's great. And then there was a couple others as well. So I mean, there was it was the Edify Centre.
So the Edify Centre was selected as our local business that we'd like to work with. Obviously, they are just doing such important work around mental health in our community here in Orangeville and in Dufferin. And I've known Sonia for a number of years, and I love what she's doing there. And I love the component that they've added through Brian McFadden and his boxing experience and the physical activity and how it matches with mental health. And now they're expanding into offering a lot more counseling services, one-on-one counseling, and the suicide prevention training, and so honestly, that one was really easy for us. I think there was very little discussion. They had been nominated more than once.
Yeah.
From various people. So they were on our nomination forms more than once, and there wasn't much discussion at all. It was just a no-brainer.
That's awesome. Because I mean, I know a little bit, but honestly, I don't know enough. And I mean, and I think many people just assume what it is, and I think they might have the wrong impression of what it actually is. I mean, like boxing and stuff there too. I mean, that's great. So like, and I can see how that relates to a lot of what else they offer.
Yeah, they actually have a boxing ring in their facility.
Nice.
So the program that they launched recently, that obviously currently is not happening because we're in lockdown, was a 30-30 program where you could go in for 30 minutes of boxing and then 30 minutes for counseling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Super, super powerful type program.
Wow. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think of like, where else have I heard of something like that before? I'm like, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything.
I can't either. So right now they are offering, they still are able to provide counseling services during lockdown via phone or Zoom, but everything else will be coming again after. And I think, what else did we talk about? They're putting together a training program that's going to be online. And Sonia, the work that she's traditionally done is the suicide prevention training, which actually, this is something I didn't know. Anybody in the community can take that training and get certified in suicide prevention so that you can actually, as just a community member, if you meet somebody in your travels or if someone in your family is suffering from some mental stress and has a potential suicide risk, then you can support them by having that training. So I think as one of my goals, once they get that going again, I'd love to take that.
Yeah, there's a couple of different courses related to that. There's one specifically targeted towards elders. I think like towards the seniors. I mean, I had the opportunity to speak with Heather Glenister, who's with Suicide Awareness Council for Wellington and Dufferin, and they're a great organization. I mean, they do some good work and they do help raise awareness. They used to offer training, but now that's offered through other organizations. So it's great to see that there's something local here doing that versus having to go to Guelph or something like that. That's great. And again, I just, that's an amazing concept. I mean, I love it. Like just being able to go for 30 minutes of boxing and 30 minutes of counseling. Well, geez, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. And then the fourth one or the third one I know a little bit better is the Dufferin County Canadian Black Association.
Yeah. Are you working with them or volunteering with them on some capacity?
We're partnered with them in an aspect.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Again, this one took almost no discussion. This was a nomination under our local charity category, and it just, everybody felt that this was so relevant and we couldn't wait to work with them. I had already had a few conversations with Alethea and just love the awareness that they're trying to bring to our community. So our whole team was like, yep, that's the one.
Well, it's really cool because I mean, like now that like it's great to see that they're already moving in the community since they're so new. They have the arts exhibition with the Museum of Dufferin coming up for Black History Month, and that'll be interesting to see. And it'll be interesting to see how that continues in future years too. Just if they have an in-person component and all that, it'd be great to see more things like that. Just because I mean, I've got a little bit more insight into the arts community around the area, and I think a lot of people will appreciate what they're doing with this. And I'm excited to see what else they do. Because I mean, they have an Ask an Expert series as well, which they can with a variety of different topics, and also helping people get into politics as well, which is not something we really have around here. So I mean that I know about at least. There is a little bit, I think, maybe with the Dufferin, maybe with the Dufferin women in leadership or Dufferin women in business, possibly. I don't know if they have anything for politics, but yeah, there's not really much for getting people into politics around here, and I think that might cause some problems with people signing up for more than what they're willing to chew on. But yeah. Well, no, that's great. That's another great one. And then this one I really know nothing about. I can kind of get from the name, but can you tell us more about $1 Million Smile? This is a Adopt a Charity International.
Yeah. So $1 Million Smiles is an organization based out of Toronto that a woman started in order to help families with children that have special needs or disabilities. And so they have two kind of concepts. One is a program where they deliver these giant teddy bears with gift certificates to children. It's such a wonderful, so basically to bring that smile to those children in need. And then the second part of their initiative is to actually build accessible playground units for families that have children with disabilities. So if you go to their website, milliondollar-smiles.ca, which is actually being redone and should be relaunched by the end of the month, you can see some of the beautiful smiles that they've brought to these families' faces and the children's faces. And it just really held a special place, I think, in our hearts when we saw this and saw the joy that they're bringing to these families. So we were eager to help work with them. And I've had a few discussions with Anna, who's the founder, and she's lovely. And they're doing such, I think, important work. So
wow,
pretty easy for us to choose too. So if you look at their website, you'll see there's some children with big teddy bears.
that's awesome. That's amazing. I mean, I knew nothing about it. Like, that's really cool. I mean, obviously it's not like it's based out of Toronto, so maybe a little bit less like we know about it, but still, like, this is amazing. That's
really cute. And they have quite a big support group of volunteers and families that are involved with them. So I'm excited to dive right into that one.
Yeah, like they have people called Smile Leaders. It's pretty cool. Yeah, like that's awesome. I mean, that's really cool, especially these playgrounds that they're providing. Like, that's great, because I mean, yeah, not everything's accessible. That's for sure.
No, it's not. I have a dear friend of mine. Her daughter has cerebral palsy, and that really that was maybe one of the things that struck at my heart too, is because I know how much of a challenge they've gone through and continue to go through, and the accessibility of playgrounds has been one of the biggest ones. But just everything. I just thought it was just wonderful, everything they're doing.
They're really nice looking. Like, these playgrounds, like they're really nice looking. Like, they are well done. Like, they look like little wooden houses. Like to a certain
they got like a whole team of volunteers, and they go and they built them for the families.
Wow.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure there could be some great social media content, like some great content out of that too. Like, I mean, that's amazing. Like, all of these organizations are amazing. Like, this is so great that you're able to help. Like, thank you, because I mean, this is hopeful. Like, because I mean, it's easy to get lost in things, especially during times like these. But to go out there and help this many organizations, is, you can sponsor a bear. Cool. So you get cost on the website.
And they're like huge teddy bears. They're so great.
Yeah, I can see some. Yeah, some of the photos. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, but yeah, no, like it's great that you're doing all this, because I mean, like, this should be a year for a lot of people to retreat into their holes. I mean, it's hard not to do that. You got to put in a real effort not to do it. I find, just personally myself. So I mean, I think we should all appreciate what you're doing here. Like this is amazing. Like, but yeah, like, so there's all this going on, but I know there's some other big news you have going on too. And do you mind sharing that?
Yeah. So as if we don't have enough going on.